Welcome back. This is episode 4 of the Galactic Era Let's Play. I decided to continue on with where we were before just because there's a couple more things that were unlocked, plus our mining ship is back so we can upgrade some of its layout. So let's start with... Actually, yeah, let's start with the ship. So we left off, we were... didn't have enough enough CPU power to basically support all the things we wanted on here, and we lack cargo. We can get more cargo on here, so let's do two things. We've got some more metal that's back from some rock back from the first run, so let's start process that, but let's do it at a normal pace. So let's just let this run in the background. Usually I have a job running for a 24-hour cycle before I do something else with it. So this is something you're going to be running. You generally will not have idle threads, or you don't want to have idle threads. And let's produce some containers using the metal we got from the start and the rewards. So let's just use that to give our ship a little bit more cargo space. So he has a... Oh, not that. Oh, clicked the wrong thing. Alright, so now our ship, and we probably want some more cores as well, so let's build another 10 of those and spend another credit on that. Alright. Probably, while we're at it, I'm just buying stuff, splurge and get some more mining drills. So that's 20, probably good. See, now we're running low on metal, so this is going to be the end of this splurge soon. However, we've got a level gift that's giving us cash and metal, so we're going to need metal. And I think we can get a reward from the main missions, yeah, so we can get some more metal from here. But after that, we're going to need to conserve a little bit more. But for now, splurge. So let's get some more CPU power so we can get a... Yeah, that should be good. Alright, so now we got some CPU power to spare. First I want to get some containers on here. We want to... Generally, I prefer having longer duration mining cycles. Some people like to have just tons of miners, and let me just drop these here. Yeah, so this is, now we got 20,000. I think we went from, if I remove this, so if you don't save, that's one thing I wanted to mention up. You don't save, everything is removed. You kind of have your old ship, so bear in mind. You can also save presets. Not so much useful for mining ships, but if you have combat ships, you want to save a layout and then switch back and forth between something that's good against lasers versus something that's good against rail versus something that's good against missiles. You can have preset things for those situations. For now, I just wanted to point out that we went from 4,200 cubic meters to 20,000. Now let's add our CPU, we got that. Alright, now we can spend some more on mining drills. Now the mining drills, I'm going to be a little bit more careful on because you see they're eating up CPU. Upgrade these. And these I'll do one by one because I don't want to upgrade more than we can sustain with the CPU. And I think that's about the thing we can hit right now. Alright, so CPU has been a bottleneck for us. So before I kick this guy off, let's jump into skills real quick. This is kind of briefly touched this on in the first video, but these are things I can train up over time and I initially have one skill thread, so means I can train one skill at a time. But once I get higher level or I spend some premium currency, I get access to more skill threads. For now, we got one. We're going to use it for something that's very useful for now. So we could get more threads, but we're fairly new. We don't have that much use for these long-running threads. We could get a buff to mining. So we can click on to get an idea of what the benefit is. So this increases mining speed by 2%. This increases how quickly we can refine. This is metal ore into the metal resource, the tier 1 resource. Yeah. We can improve our defenses, so this will make our armor more effective. We can improve our weapons, same deal, weapons do more damage of the various types. Or this one, which is probably the one I'm going to go with, is increases the amount of CPU. Now this is, I'm pretty sure this doesn't buff the power core module that gives us additional CPU. There's like a baseline amount of CPU each ship has, which is increased every time you upgrade the hull to the next level. But this is a buff on top of it. Either way, since this is one of our most limiting things right now, I'm going to just start training on it. All right. So you might be thinking, like, that's not a lot of stuff to train. But if you click the Show All button, you'll see that as you progress, as you get higher level, you have access to a whole ton more stuff. So there are a lot of skills to train through. And the higher level you are, the more of these things you can train at the same time, which you're going to get to the point like, I got to figure out what to prioritize first. One nice thing about the premium currency, not the premium currency, the premium subscription card, which is this guy here. You can buy this on the open market, or you can spend some premium currency on it. One thing it does is gives you an additional skill thread. It gives you a buff to extraction speed. But to me, the biggest benefit is it automatically progresses. Once you learn a skill level, it keeps learning to the next level. Because normally, once this level is complete, once I've learned the first level of basic frigate op, it will not automatically start training the next level. You'll have to basically remember to log back in, kick off another thread, whatever. So that subscription card is kind of handy to make this a little bit easier, especially if you got multiple threads that end various times in a day. So we're going to let actually this finish off for a couple of seconds so that maybe we can, with an extra 10%, we can get some additional mining drills on there. This is what I probably want, because right now our ship with the mining speed of about 38 and 20,000 cargo hold space will take about an hour and a half to fill up. But if I can get just a little bit more, and while we're doing this, let me just kick off the next level. Is that enough to get us one more level up? Nah, not enough. All right, so I think we're good for now for this. Let's just kick this guy off. And in a couple videos, we'll see the result of that mining coming back. Since our extraction is done, I'm going to start converting this metal ore into more metal. This is another long-running job, 52 minutes. So let's just kick it off now, and let's see how our ship does against a higher level of difficulty. And actually, before I do that, let's talk about co-op missions. So this is something we didn't discuss before. I kind of did a high-level overview, but this is where I can select 2 teammates to fight an enemy ship. That's going to be a little bit more powerful than the stuff we're used to. So, oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so you can refresh the available options of other players. So these are other player build ships. This is the ship name Oh, actually, that's one thing I didn't mention before. So when you edit, you can give your ship a name. So again, just for my favorite, one of my favorite sci-fi series, let's call this The Ender. But I think you'll see this in the battle. So I guess this is the player name, and then these other things are the player. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. So you can see the effect of our kamikaze friend here. He's going straight forward for this laser boat, essentially. So what we're gonna need to do to beat this is probably load up on armor. So these shields are not going to be helpful. And another thing we're going to do is change our strategy so that we update the targeting as new ships come into range and not just fly past ships. So one thing, and then we'll need to drop our shields in favor of more armor. So let's do that first. So first I want to go to dynamic blocking strategy. These are fine. I'm going to get rid of this message for now. It's a little annoying. And then let's drop our shields for some armor. And let's see if we do any better in this round. And I'm also not going to choose the buddy that's got those rockets. So sadly, you can't zoom in too closely on this, but this is the guy that had those rockets. He's not going on my team. I'm going to choose a guy that's got more armor. And we don't need, I can see that this has PDL, the anti-air. We don't need that because the enemy ship is a laser boat. So here's a good option, except he's got engines too, so I think he's going to fly past. So our best bet looks like, ooh, okay, this guy and, well, yeah, let's go with this guy. He's got some rocket launchers, so maybe I'll go and damage him from behind. All right. So he's a little faster than us, probably because we got armor that's slowing us down. And his locking strategy is to lock on the target. Oh, that's an annoying thing. But when you skill, when you finish training a skill, it kind of takes you out of your battle, so you can recalculate the. I have this one, I think. So you can recalculate the. If you got more damage, now you can be more effective, or you got more range on your weapon. So I get that it's handy, but it tends to be annoying. Anyway, so both of these guys have a locking strategy that, for some reason, just directly bypasses the first one they see and just goes directly to this guy. All right, so these two friends of ours are not super effective because they don't have a lot of armor up front and their stuff gets destroyed. Oh wow, this guy has, here's that thing. So here's a medium-sized module. So this takes up more slots, but it can potentially do more damage than 3 small lasers combined. So I think at this point, we're just not strong enough ourselves, and our teammates are not strong enough to be able to withstand this barrage. So we'll do some main missions with our current setup and try the co-op mission a little bit later on. One other bit I forgot to mention totally is that there is in-game audio. I just have it off because I just find it not really useful, but it gives you background noise when you're fighting. Alright. And even though we beat this, I'm going to quickly jump back to my editor and say, hey, let's add some defenses. So in this case, I'm going to drop them here. and add my missile launcher here. And at this point, I don't really need any other armor, because my lasers should be enough to counter, oh, here we go, counter the missiles he's launching. So what I'm going to do is put my lasers in the back and railguns in the front, since they do, they have less range. So basically I'm putting my railguns within closer range. All right, so let's try the second mission. Hopefully this will be a little bit easier. All right, so this guy has a little bit more shield, so we might want to replace these railguns with lasers so they can tear through this the enemy shields a little bit faster. But as you can see, mine didn't get hurt at all. So let's do another micro tweak, and this is fairly optional. You don't need to do this often. I just like to me this is a very enjoyable part of the game. Just configure the ships to beat enemies faster, or just get that extra level, or beat that extra difficulty mode. To me, tweaking these configurations is very, very fun. All right, see, taking no damage and burn through his shields faster. Now, one thing we can do, if we don't want to spend resources to build a module, like it'd be useful now to have more lasers, we can go back to another earlier mission. I think it was this one. Oh, hey, this one has some more. This is a probability of dropping pulse laser, so let's sweep this up a couple times. Now, the one thing I didn't mention before is that if you're beating it for the first time, you're guaranteed a drop. If you're sweeping it or even fighting it again, you have a chance to get a drop. So not every single time you beat this mission, you're going to get a drop after the first. So we got a couple more lasers. Let's upgrade these guys. Yeah, I'll just replace the railgun just because we want to get more weapon damage here. All right, so let's go back to this. Oh, here's the boss. Now, looks like we could use some more. I'll probably upgrade one of these levels because he's firing off enough rockets. Maybe they're higher level. They have more HP, but you will some of them were hitting us. So, but we beat him, so we can just keep going. I think for now this is probably going to be a good spot to stop this video after I explain one or two more things, because then that we have to reorganize. Actually, keeping these videos at about a half an hour. Let's talk about the topic I wanted to bring up, and then beat the next 5 missions. How about that? So this battle's taking a bit longer. I can already tell that this is now, our lasers are hitting armor, so we probably want to switch out armor and lasers in favor for railguns, and probably actually stick some armor down the front. We can't rely on the PDL. But one thing I want to mention, oh wow, okay, that's weird. We got to somehow we got into that a bit early. Well, one of the things I wanted to mention, I'll call it a beta bug, is that the reward you get for beating a co-op mission is twofold. One is debris, and the other one is AI core. AI core is something you can use to upgrade a ship or module past level 10, which is what you need via normal resources. So normal resources you can mine from space mines. AI core is a resource you need to upgrade past level 10. So that's just a thing. The other resource you get from the reward you get from co-op missions is debris. Now, debris is used when researching. Researching is unlocked at level 35, so this is way past the point we're going to get to. But what it allows you to do is, when you produce a module, right now, every time I produce a module, I produce a level 1 module, and I have to upgrade to level 2, which has some cost as far as UCP. And if I want to upgrade to level 3, 4, 5, and 10, I need to go through that process. Researching lets you produce higher level modules off the bat, which mainly saves you UCP cost on upgrades, but later on can also save you the type of resource that's needed to upgrade past a certain level. So building a module from scratch at level 6 still needs just metal. But if I wanted to upgrade a module, not research a module to level 7 so that I can build level 7 modules off the bat, now it means I can build it using other resources like silicone or, actually at that point it uses T2 resources. So there's these things like crystal, chips, titanium alloy. These are like the tier 2 crafting materials. Now the benefit in going with more advanced crafting materials is you're less reliant on strictly metal. Early on, you're going to be doing nothing but mining metal. You're going to need mining P metal or rich metal. You're going to be heavily dependent on just metal. But you're going to get to a point where you want to build other hulls, build higher level stuff, and you're going to need access to other resources. And eventually you want to wean yourself off of the metal dependency. So researching higher level production levels of modules and hulls lets you do that as well. For now, that covers research and the debris. Let's kick this off as well. And let's prepare our ship for defending against lasers. So drop these guys here, drop some armor. Now this is good against rail guns, but I don't, so not really effective against the laser will be firing at us, but it's still more effective than shields. So weapon-wise, we want to go back to using the rail guns, and I still want to have these missile launchers shooting from the back. All right. So will this be easier now? Let's find out. So you can see I picked up a different target. I guess that one was a little bit closer. Not wasting space on PDLs, which would defend against rockets, which this enemy doesn't have. Our armor's holding up pretty well. And another mission beaten. So let's do a couple more of these. And at this point, I think I will end once we get to 210. Find out what the next enemy type is. And then I think I will go back to what I was saying at the end of the last video, and that will take a little break in these recordings until I get closer to the 7th campaign, at which point, once we clear that, we can join a legion. That'll probably take a few hours, so hopefully you can join our Discord room, ask some questions, go to Allspace, and start playing the game. All right, so we've beaten the early ships, and I think we just got a medium module drop. Did I see that correctly? Oh no, I think it was just an M armor. Be very early for that. All right, so I think that covers the main things I wanted to cover in this early part of the series. Again, legions and stocks are unlocked a little bit later. You can join a legion once you're level 15, but you need to clear the 7th campaign. And yeah, I think that's it for this early part of the series. Thanks everyone for listening and watching. Like I said, join us on Discord or join us in game. See you next time.